1, 2, 3!
Shalom Dammit and Dammit Shalom. I am Rabbi Sol Solomon of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York, and I welcome you with open arms to this weekly television program of a Judaic and a Hebraic nature. Now, I want to make clear, if you are not Jewish, you are perfectly welcome to stay tuned. We're not going to send you out into the cold, off to the cable vision Siberia of diagnosis murder reruns and old Spanish movies with cantinflas in them. No. Goyim are more than welcome to stay and partake in the Jewish culture and education of this program. You just won't understand it. It's not you. It's not that you're not bright, most of you. It's just not your culture. You have Christmas and rosaries and Lawrence Welk. We've got sukkahs and dreidels and Amy Winehouse. I know, it's a toss-up, but here is what we have in store for you on this third episode of Shalom Dammit. We will dip back into the Torah for our almost weekly Daf Shavuah. Now this is where we read a portion of the Hebrew Bible, discuss it, analyze it, and basically run it into the ground like a 10th grade English teacher with Pride and Prejudice. This Daf Shavuah, we're still on Genesis. In fact, we're only a few verses in. So if you're new to the program, you haven't missed much, except the beginning of the world. But don't worry, I'll catch you up. And then we also have something fun. I'm going to be telling jokes. Honest to Hashem, rib ticklers and knee slappers. You may want to adjust your pacemakers accordingly. So, without taking up any more of your valuable time, well, actually I'll be taking up 26 minutes more, but who the hell are you that your time is so valuable anyway? Stay with me as we embark on episode 3 of Shalom Dammit, Dammit. Picture in your mind a dead cow lying in the street, tire tracks from an SUV along its side, guts and udders oozing out onto the asphalt, flies and maggots crawling around its exposed brain. All right, are you picturing? Now, think of the exact opposite of all that, and you'll be thinking of 8th Avenue Meats. Now, every beast at 8th Avenue Meats gets a clean kill and a sanitary butchering. That's why they taste so Hasheming good. When you eat a lamb chop or a veal cutlet, you don't want to think how horribly the animal died or how long it's lying in the sun until some Goyish hunter slices it up for pathmark. No, you want to see the knife going cleanly across the throat, the blood spilling in gobs into a biodegradable pine bucket, and the fat encrusted carcass properly prepared for a kosher home. Anything less would be an insult to your stomach. So, come to 8th Avenue Meats, where taste and texture come in second to cleanliness and kashrut. 8th Avenue Meats, where suffering is minimal. 8th Avenue Meats for any kind of animal. If you want to eat, get up off your seat and go to 8th Avenue Meats. 8th Avenue Meats. Shoma Shabbos! Shalom Dammit, and welcome to my favorite part of this television program, me talking. Well, just kidding. Sort of. It's not me talking. It's Hashem talking through this book, the Torah, the light of our lives and the words of our leader. As I said in the very first episode of this program, and I hope you are paying attention, Jewish people read all 5 books of the Bible throughout the year, every year. We start at the beginning, we zip through a couple of chapters every week, and by the end of the year, boom, we're done. And then, what do? That's right, we start all over again. You were paying attention, or a lucky guess. And then, if you want to get deeper into the holy books, you can do what rabbinical scholars do, which is the Daf Yomi. They take a page a day, 1 page, and they analyze it and dissect it and study it and basically give it the VH1 where are they now treatment. Well, I'm only here once a week, so a page a day, while nice in theory, helps like a toit mit bankas. So we do the best we can, which is to study a little Torah each week in the hopes of increasing your knowledge, sparking your imagination, and killing 10-15 minutes of airtime. Now, last week we read the opening phrases of Genesis, in the beginning and all that stuff. When we left off, God had just made the world. He separated sky from water, air from mud and yuck, and he turned on the first light. And there was evening and there was morning, day 1. Now, scientists and pragmatists may argue with each other about how long the first day actually was. Was it 24 hours? 24 years? 24 billion years? If we don't take the word day literally, then the Bible can easily coexist with the theory of evolution, even the Big Bang. All right, I'm going to take 10 seconds for you to stop giggling about Big Bang. Go ahead, make your jokes. I had a Big Bang last night, ha ha ha. You finished? You're done? Good. Big Bang. All right, the first day, cosmologically speaking, Hashem created the heaven and the earth and light and language. Yes, language. Remember, he said, let there be light, and not blah, blah, blah. Now, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 6, he's ready to move forward. He's got the foundation done, now it's Home Depot time. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. What the hell does that mean? Well, on the first day, when Hashem separated heaven from all the rest of us, earth was still a blob. It was a well-lit blob, but there was water in the sky, there was sky in the water, there was chocolate in the peanut butter, everything was Meshiggah. So now, God realizes that if he doesn't separate all the waters somehow, everything else he's going to create is going to drown. So he says, let there be a firmament, a permanent firmament, a kind of structure to the universe that keeps the ocean nice and wet, and the sun, which he hasn't invented yet, warm and toasty. And God made the firmament, and he divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. Now, what do we know from this, besides the fact that whoever wrote the Bible was obviously being paid by the word? What does this tell us? Not a whole hell of a lot. Let's move on. And God called the firmament heaven, which is so beautiful and unbelievably confusing. People use the word heaven every which way. It's the place where God lives. It's the place where you go when you kick it. It's the word for just plain old sky. And now it's also the word for everything that divides up the earth into land, water, sky, rocks, mountains, sunshine, shoulders, all of it. So here it is, the second day, and God is already making things complicated. He hasn't put 2 amoebas together, but already he's creating enough confusion to give a theological seminary headaches for months. But still, he invented it. He has the right to name it. Someone could have warned the guy who invented Smucker's jam that it would sound like a sex lube. But no, Mr. Smucker said, that's my name. That's what goes on the label. Go no. Just be happy God did not call the firmament Smuckers. All right, stop giggling. It's the same 2 or 3 of you from the Big Bang, I remember. And God called the firmament heaven. And there was evening, and there was morning, a second day. Okay, so Hashem is definitely putting in his hours on the whole universe thing. In just 2 days, the world went from no world at all to a firmament. Do you get the picture, like I do, of Hashem making little check marks on his wall calendar? Let's see, day 2, pick up dry cleaning, check. Make dental appointment, check. Create firmament, check, and a gold star. And God said, let the waters under the heaven, see, now there's a heaven, specifically so waters could be put under it. Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let dry land appear. Kind of like Marlon Brando's head coming up from the ooze in Apocalypse Now. So you have the world taking shape. The continents, the lakes, the oceans, the mountains, pretty much everything but the Starbucks. That would take 5 more days. The waters were gathered, the dry land appeared, and it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. You've heard the phrase, seize the day? Well, Hashem did seize that day. God damn it. God saw that it was good. God is a micromanager in the best possible way. He finishes something. He doesn't just rush off to the next creation. He sticks around, kicks the tires a little bit, and when he's satisfied, he says to no one in particular, good. But he's not done for the day. Oh no! He has a full agenda planned. The afternoon of 9 holes will have to wait because he has to plant grass first. And God said in Genesis chapter 1, verse 11, let the earth put forth grass. All right. Go and giggle. Drug humor went out in 1980, but you idiots, go ahead. And God said, let the earth put forth grass, herb yielding seed. You're not laughing about seed? Go figure. Grass, seed, and fruit tree bearing fruit after its kind. After what kind, I don't know. I assume it meant that if you plant a fig tree, you get a fig tree and not a plum tree. And oddly enough, the passage does not mention vegetables. Could this just be a literary device? Just fruit? Is this a foreshadowing of the forbidden fruit that will cause so much trouble in chapter 3? It's not like Hashem goes to Adam and Eve and says, you see that spinach over there? Don't eat that, you learn everything. And you don't hear Hashem going to Eve, stay away from the cucumbers, they'll ruin you for Adam. He does mention herbs. So you've got garlic and paprika, but not much to put it on unless you want to put it on a watermelon. Actually, I think the writers of the Bible used the word herb when they really meant vegetable. Much the way Nancy Reagan would use the phrases daddy or Ronnie when she meant vegetable. But look at what happens. God says, let the earth put forth grass, herb yielding seed, and fruit tree bearing fruit after its kind, wherein is the seed thereof upon the earth. And it was so. The whole cycle of life is contained within that convoluted, insane sentence. You've got the fruit-bearing tree. It bears fruit. The fruit has seeds. The seeds grow into fruit-bearing trees that bear fruit. Those fruits have seeds that start growing and bearing fruit. The fruit has seeds, and so on and so forth. It's like the TV show Law and Order. First you have one, then you get a sequel. Then the sequel dies, but one of the actors gets his own show. Then you got the hybrids, Law and Order, Crime and Punishment, SVU, SUV. Before you know, it's a whole garden of Law and Order choking up 3 cable channels. But this is Hashem's law, Hashem's order. The tree bears fruit, the fruit bears trees. You see, Hashem knows already that he's going to make mankind. He's creating all these beautiful gardens and delicious foods. Who's he doing it for? The rocks? So often in the Bible, we hear that God is wrathful, He's vengeful, He's bitterly disappointed, and therefore cruel. But it's only because, look at the trouble He went through to get His house in order before inviting His man to move in. Imagine you're the owner of the Ritz-Carlton, and you've gotten the whole place ready for a very important guest. Instead, who checks in? The Sex Pistols. And all they do is trash the place. Rip up the pillows, throw chairs out the window, make pee-pee in the ice machine. And you tell them, no, we made this so nice for you. And they apologize, and they write a big check. And as soon as they're back in the hotel room, they have an orgy and set off the sprinklers. This is what Hashem is dealing with when He lets His beloved mankind move into His hotel. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We're still on fruit. And the earth brought forth grass, herb-yielding seed after its kind, and tree-bearing fruit, wherein is the seed thereof after its kind. And God saw that it was good. Let us also take note of the phraseology of verses 11 and 12. First, God says, let these things happen, and then they happen. But the wording is interesting. It doesn't say Hashem did them. It says He said them, and they happened of their own accord. We again go back to the evolutionists and the creationists and the Big Bangers. Okay, even I'm going to laugh at that one. And we see that the Torah in no way contradicts any of these theories. God didn't point His finger and a tangerine appeared. The earth brought forth the grass, the herbs, and the fruit. That could have taken centuries, millennia, or overnight. Nobody really knows. No scientist is 100% sure, and by the same token, no priest or rabbi can prove what's in here is true. But at least all of these theories can coexist without bashing each other to bits. I mean, if a scientist finds a cure for prostatitis, I'm not going to say, did you look in the Bible for that? I'm going to say, here's my tuchus, go right in. So God looked around at all the flora and fauna and herbs, let's not forget the herbs, and He saw that it was good. Vayehi erev, vayehi boker, yom shlishi. And there was evening, and there was morning, a third day. Well, since this is the third episode of my program, that seems like an appropriate place to stop. If you want to continue reading on your own, go to any hotel and open a drawer. It doesn't even have to be the Ritz-Carlton. Or come to synagogue any Saturday morning. You can read along in English while the cantor sings in Hebrew. Or you can just go on Wikipedia and get the condensed version. Either way, if you want to feel more tribal, read a little Bible. My friends, being Jewish has a lot of downsides. We share a tragic history. We face anti-Semitism constantly, whether spoken or unspoken. And we have zillions of rules to obey. So, when we have the opportunity to smile, we grab it. We do this on the happier Jewish holidays, like Purim and Rosh Hashanah, and the day Henry Ford died. And we do it through our humor. Nothing pulls us through, besides the Torah, more than our irony, our sarcasm, our sense of silliness, and our comic chops, as it were. Just look at me. Were it not for Jewish humor, I would be a very angry man instead of the jolly cuddle muffin that I am. That is why, every once in a while on this program, I want to take a few minutes out for a little comedy, abyssal joy, and levity. And that is why I'm going to tell you what we in the entertainment biz call jokes. These are jokes with a Jewish worldview and a Yiddish kopf, as it were, which is important because they don't have to be that funny. Okay. That wasn't a joke. That was just preparation. Two old ladies are on a park bench. They're talking and Miriam says, "That nice Mr. Waxman from Assisted Living, he's asked me out on a date." Her friend Dorothy says, "Oh, Waxman, I went out with him once." "I know," says Miriam. "That's why I wanted to talk to you first. I wanted to hear about him before I give my answer." "Well," says Dorothy, "friend to friend, let me give you some advice. I get all verpitzed for the date. Makeup, hair, brand new, very expensive dress. I look like $1 million. Maury shows up 7 o'clock on the dot, suit, tie, he looks like $2 million bucks. And he brings me such gorgeous flowers. We go downstairs, he has a limousine waiting with a chauffeur and everything, and we go to dinner. At the fanciest kosher restaurant in town, everything soup to nuts and a dessert to die for. Let me tell you, I was in heaven. Until we come back to my apartment. That's when Maury Waxman turns into an animal. He pounces on me, he's kissing me, he's pawing at me, he tears off my dress and has his way with me twice. Miriam takes a breath. "My goodness, Dorothy," she says, you're telling me I shouldn't go out with him." No, says Dorothy. "But for God's sakes, we're a shmata." Now, this particular joke trades on two stereotypes. That of Jews being frugal and not wanting to waste money, and reversing the cliche of the old woman who hasn't had a shtup since the Eisenhower administration. Some people may find the joke a little offensive, since you have a lonely 70-year-old woman virtually raped, but that's what makes it funny. Okay, moving on. Another joke about old people. 85-year-old Shmuel comes out of the doctor's office from his annual physical. He's smiling, he's whistling, he's flying on a cloud home. A few days later, the doctor sees Shmuel on the street, laughing and joking with a gorgeous young girl on his arm. "Shmuel," the doctor says, "you look wonderful, but I have to say, I'm a little shocked." "Why shocked?" says Shmuel. "I'm just following your advice." "My advice?" says the doctor. "Yes, you said, Shmuel, grab a hot mama and be cheerful." And the doctor rolls his eyes and he says, "No, Shmuel, I said, you have a heart murmur, be careful." What the joke is really about is the power of positive thinking. Had Shmuel heard the doctor correctly, he would have been moping around, "Oy, oy, oy, my heart, do I take pills? Do I exercise? Do I not exercise? Do I change my diet?" He would have become such a nervous cholera. He would have given himself a heart attack worrying about the heart murmur. Instead, he hears what he wants to hear, the good news. He looks on the bright side, appreciates the gifts Hashem provides him, gets himself a young chickie and ha-cha-cha. If only. Okay, one more, and let's make it a troika. One more joke about an old Jewish person. Sadie is just done with Shiva for her husband Yankel. So she goes to put an ad in the Jewish press to let the world know of his passing. The editorial assistant tells her it's $20 for a classified ad. How would you like to word the announcement? Just say, "Yankel's dead." That's it. Yankel's dead. The editorial assistant says, "Well, that's fine, but you realize all ads have a 5-word minimum." "Oh," says Sadie, and she's very quiet for a few moments. Then Sadie says, "Okay, why don't you put in, Yankel's dead, Volvo for sale." Once again, we have the convergence of aging, frugality, and the Jewish gift for practicality and survival. Plus, there's always something funny about the word Volvo. Say it with me. Volvo, Volvo, Volvo. Not Volvo! Get your minds out of that, filthy bastards. Although, Volvo's funny too. Well, my dear friends, we come to the end of another scintillating episode of Shalom Dammit. Was it all you thought it would be? Before I go, I would like to remind everyone that the sisterhood of my temple, Temple Sons of Bitches, is holding a bake sale this Wednesday and Thursday. So, stop by the synagogue on your way back from work and pick up some delicious brownies, kugel, homemade challah, and in one case, moussaka. Don't ask. All proceeds go to benefit the fund to revive the Sisterhood bowling team, which has not been active since team leader Shirley Grossman's fabled 300 game of 2002, followed by her crippling back spasm of 2003. So, come to the shul Wednesday and Thursday all day, buy some goodies, and help the Sisterhood bowling team get their balls back. I really should rewrite that. Okay, time to say some thank yous to some special people who make this program possible. Our sponsors, Performing Arts Insider Theater Magazine and Discount Funding Associates, the people behind MortgagesRock.com. Also, much gratitude to Weissbaum's Moil Service, here to their travel and 8th Avenue meets. Meaty. On a more personal level, I'd also like to thank our friends in need and deed, Nihal Altan Bonet and Gregoire Bonet, and thank you to the one and only Dave Lefkowitz, host of the weekly radio program Dave's Gone By. He's on WGBB, a radio station that's older than Methuselah and nearly as decrepit, but I'm proud to be a guest on his talk show whenever he asks me, and I'm always delighted to see Dave's brilliant and beautiful wife, Joyce. And if you want to send me a brilliant and beautiful email, the screen name is shalomdammit@aol.com. That's shalomdammit@aol.com. Remember, there's 3 M's in it, like mommy and mammogram and miserable momza. You can also send me a letter the old-fashioned way. If you want to waste 41 cents of your own money, that's your business. But alas, my business is concluded for this program. So, on behalf of myself, my dear wife Miriam Libby, and our 19 children, Nehemiah, Josiah, Shloimi, Chana, Rivki, Yehuda, Moish, Yechezkel, Baruch, Avigdor, Yisroel, Hepzibah, Shaul, Aliza, Shimon, Gedalia, Naphtali, and Fred, by my first marriage, and our sweet baby Beryl, whose previously oblong head has nearly taken its normal shape. This is Rabbi Sol Solomon, wishing you happiness, health, and courage from every one of me to every one of you.
Hoi doi da da doi, hoi doi doi, hoi doi 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 dum bum, hoi boy da da dum boy boy bum, boy 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 boy, boy 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 doi 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 da da doi 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 dum, boy 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 doi doi da da doi doi boy 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 bum, ya boy 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 doi dum, hoi da 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 doi bum, boy 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 doi dum, doi 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 dum.